So, like pretty much every fan of every Premier League club, I'm wondering how the table's going to end up. 10 games to go, starting this weekend coming up, beginning of April. And any one of 9 clubs could go down, really, from Palace down to the Championship and could get relegated. There's still a massive title race on with City and Arsenal, and who is going to make the Champions League and who's going to make the European places. Well, we're going to decide and we're going to go through this, and I'm going to give you my gut instinct score. I'm going to go through every single game. We're going to update the table from each match week, and we're going to get that answer at the end of this video. I'm going to try and do this without gold-tinted glasses on because I am a Wolves fan. So, I have got that slight bias, but I'm going to try and be as objective as I can. So this is match week. As you can see, we're going to get stuck into this. And we're going to start with match week 29. Well, I'm going to go 2-2, City-Liverpool. Bournemouth versus Fulham. I think that's going to be a 0-1 to Fulham. Brighton versus Brentford. I'm going to go with a 1-1. Palace versus Leicester. I think Palace was under Roy Orbison will probably have a bit of a bounce. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Palace on that one. Arsenal are going to beat Leeds convincingly 3-0. I'd like to say Wolves are going to win this. And I do think we might, but I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to go with a 1-1 result. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. I think Chelsea probably will end up winning that one 1-0. West Ham versus Southampton. I think they'll beat Southampton 2-0. And Newcastle versus United. I can see that being a high-score draw, so I'm going to go with a 2-2. And Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur. I think Tottenham just departing from Conte will get a reaction. Can't see Everton scoring. That's going to be 2-0 to Tottenham. Let's calculate the league table. And that's where we're at. Now, we do need to go back right now because there are games that are being played midweek next week. And these are the games. We need to fill these in. Bournemouth versus Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm going to give Bournemouth a win there. I think they might get that one 2-1. Leeds versus Forest. I think Leeds will bounce back and beat Forest 2-0. Leicester versus Aston Villa. I think Villa will get something out of that one. I think actually it'll be 0-1 to Villa. And then West Ham against Newcastle. Newcastle will get at least a point out of that, so we'll go with a 1-1. We're going to calculate on what that does. And then we're going to move to the to match week 8. And there is one game to be played here. That's Chelsea against Liverpool. And I do think Liverpool will win that one 3-1. So we're going to calculate that. I need to check, is there another one that's got to be played? Yeah, match week 25. So there's another game from midweek, a couple of games here. Newcastle versus Brighton. I see that being a Newcastle win, 2-0. And Manchester United will beat Brentford 2. We'll go with the 2-1 because Brentford aren't too bad on the road either. So that's 2-1. So that's the table up until all the matches from up to match week 29. So there is a couple of matches, as you can see here, from match week 28, but those won't be playing until May. So we'll come back to those. Let's go on to match week 30. This is Manchester United versus Everton. I can only see a Man United win there, and that's going to be, we'll give Everton a goal, 3-1. Villa versus Forest. Forest don't travel very well. I think that's going to be a 3-0 to Villa. Brentford versus Newcastle. I've got a feeling Brentford are going to win that one. I'm going to go with a 2-0 to Brentford. Fulham versus West Ham United. Derby, I think West Ham might sneak that one 2-1, so we'll give that one to West Ham. Leicester versus Bournemouth. I think that's got to be a Leicester win. I'm probably going to go with they'll score some goals, 3-0. Tottenham versus Brighton, 2-2 draw. Wolves versus Chelsea. Now, I've talked about this. Now, you might think I'm a bit mad on this, but this is exactly the type of game Wolves will go and win. Terrible sometimes against the bottom clubs, and we go and play like we beat Liverpool 3-0, we beat Tottenham. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Wolves there. I think Wolves will take the lead and hit them on the break. So you might think that's mad, but trust me on the logic. If you're a Wolves fan, you'll understand my logic. Leeds against Palace. I think that one's going to be a 1-1 draw. Southampton against City. I don't think they've got any chance. I think that's going to be a comprehensive 5-0 to City. Liverpool, Arsenal. Liverpool at home against Arsenal. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. Let's calculate that table after match week 30. As you can see, Arsenal still clear, but City have a game in hand. And if you're looking at the bottom, Forest, Everton are in the bottom and Southampton, but long way to go. Let's go on to match week 31. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. I see that one being a draw, 1-1. Chelsea, I think, will probably pinch that. Potter will want to get that result against Brighton, where only 1-0. Everton against Fulham. 0-0. We're going with that one. Southampton versus Palace. I think Southampton and Palace. I think Southampton will pick something up there. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with a 2-0 to Southampton on that one. Tottenham will beat Bournemouth. We're going to go 3-0. Wolves against Brentford. I'd like to say Wolves are going to win this one, but I'm going to go with a 0-0 just to be on the realistic, because it's the sort of game we'll slip up on. Brentford are on a bad side this year. Forest against United. United really absolutely destroyed them in the cup. I can see Forest getting a goal, but I do think United will have too much. So that'll be a 3-1. West Ham, Arsenal. This is a game that I think Arsenal will slip up on. I don't think West Ham are going to win it, but I can see it being a 2-2. City versus Leicester. Again, nice and comfortable for City. I'm going to think a 3-0. They're banging in the goals, aren't they? Leeds against Liverpool. Leeds will be well up for this, but I just can't see them beating Liverpool. I think it might be close though, so I think it'll go 2-1. Let's calculate the table to there. As you can see, again, Forest, Bournemouth and Southampton still in the bottom three, but only just on goal difference. Newcastle and Tottenham still scrapping it out for fourth. And Arsenal still have that lead, but Manchester City have a game in hand. In fact, Villa are looking quite good at the moment. They're into 8th, and Brentford still holding firm in 7th. Let's go to match week 32. Arsenal versus Southampton. There's can see only one winner there. Arsenal come through on that one, 3-0. Fulham versus Leeds. I think that will be a 2-0 to Fulham. Bournemouth against West Ham. Going to be a tough one. I think that could end up being a 0-0. I think Bournemouth will be determined to try and get something out of that. Oh, and then here's a juicy one at this stage. Crystal Palace versus Everton. Everton need points. Palace need points. I think they could cancel each other out. I think a goal apiece will be fair on that one. Brentford against Villa. I think they might slip up there against Villa. I think that could be a 2-1. Liverpool against Forest. Again, sorry, Forest fans. I just can't see anything away from home to Anfield. Being as a Wolves fan, being there twice this year, played well in the cup. Let's not go into the VAR decision. And then, well beaten in the league. That'll be a 3-0. Leicester versus Wolves. Now, Wolves are due to win an away game. And this is the game that I really do think that Wolves are going to win. So I am going to go with a 1. And Wolves are going to score 3, which doesn't happen very often, but I'm going for a 3-1 win to Wolves. I've just feeling all season that Wolves are going to finally get that away win against Leicester. Man United, Chelsea, I think that could be a draw, 1-1. Newcastle, Tottenham. I see Newcastle and Tottenham going for the thing. I can see, again, another stalemate. I can see that one being a 1-1 as well. And then Brighton versus City. I just think City at this point of the season, they know how to win titles. I think Brighton will get a goal, but I think City will get the points. And that's going to do this to the table. Update. Again, the gap closes a little bit, but still Arsenal with a good lead. And that battle for the top four still ongoing. Liverpool right in the mix now. And then if you look at the bottom, how close it really is at the bottom again here. Crikey, I've got Wolves on 35 points after 32 games. I'll be well happy if that happens. But we have got a really difficult last run of fixtures as well. And a couple of teams do have games in hand. But let's go on to the next match day, which is match day 33. Wolves at home to Palace. It's got to be, a must win for Wolves. But knowing Wolves will probably won't win it. So I think it'll be I think I can see that one just being a 0-0 actually. I'll just see, it's just a sort of game we'll have to go and win and we won't win. Villa versus Fulham. I think that one, Villa will probably get pegged on that one 2-2. Southampton versus Bournemouth, a must win for both teams at this point of the season. But Southampton are going to have just enough to get past Bournemouth and keep their hopes of staying up. Leeds against Leicester, again at home. Probably Leeds will probably end up scoring one more goal than Leeds. That's 3 than Leicester, so that's 3-2. Forest against Brighton. Wouldn't surprise me if Forest win that game 2-1 because everyone's going to be fighting at this point. West Ham, Liverpool. West Ham, I think it could be a 1-1. I think West Ham will get something. Chelsea will beat Brentford 3-1. Man City, Arsenal. What a game that's going to be. That's going to be so crucial. If Man City win that game, it really puts the pressure on Arsenal, and they've just got a way of doing it. I think it could be really, really close. And I'm going to go with City 3, Arsenal 2. Everton against Newcastle. Tough game for Everton. Newcastle still trying to get that top 4, but I think they'll get something out of that. I can see that being a 2-2. And Tottenham against Manchester United. I think probably United will come to town and take the points off Tottenham 2-1. So let's have a look at the calculator at this point. Let's update it. Yes, again, still really, really tight, but that gap at the top between Arsenal and City now down to 3 points, with City having a game in hand. Okay, that's interesting. Liverpool, Newcastle and Tottenham still trying to get that top 4. And when you look at the bottom, Wolves are looking good there. Oh my God, 36 points, close to safety. We have got a tough last few games though. West Ham starting to pull themselves out of it. Leeds in a decent position. A few Leeds fans will probably follow us. They'll be happy at this point. Palace still in and around. But you look at the bottom 5 now, there's a little bit of a gap. Forest, Everton, Southampton, Leicester, and Bournemouth. Sorry, Leicester fans. Let's go on to match day 34. Palace versus West Ham United. Again, I think that will probably be a draw, 1-1. Bournemouth, I think, will get a result there. I think it'll be a 2-0. I think Bournemouth will do them. Brighton against Wolves, I'd like to say we're going to win, but it's probably going to be, maybe we'll get a goal, 3-1. Brentford against Forest. I think Forest might go there and get a point, 1-1. In fact, I'm going to go with a 0-0. I think it's going to be goalless at this point. Tony might be suspended by then. You don't know. Arsenal against Chelsea. Arsenal must win against Chelsea. And you know what? I think they probably will get the result 2-0. Fulham against City. I think Fulham are going to be tough for City, but I think City will, again, have just enough. And with Haaland banking the goals in again. United versus Villa, I think that's a 2-0 all over. Newcastle, Southampton, can't see anything other than the comprehensive Newcastle win. Let's give Southampton a goal. Liverpool versus Tottenham. What an important game this is going to be. I just think that Liverpool's momentum and experience at this stage of the season, 5 games out are going to be enough. I think it will end up being a 2-1. And then Leicester against Everton. What a massive game there. But I think it's absolutely vital for Leicester. And you know what? I think they'll get the result. I think that'll probably, in fact, it'll probably be a 1-0. It might end up being a draw, but let's give Leicester the benefit, home match. And let's see what that does now to the table. It doesn't really change a lot at the top, but it does get Leicester out of the bottom 3. Everton are now well and truly in it. They've played 34 games, and it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. That we're going to have to look at that. We do need to we're at the end of April, so we're still good. We go on to the match week 35. In fact, let's go. Actually, we need to go back because we've got a game here that I can see, which is the third match day 28, which will be on the 3rd. I think so. This is Manchester City versus West Ham. I think that's a City win, 2-0. And then we've got Brighton against United. I can see Brighton winning that. I think it might be quite a high-scoring game. Let's go for a draw, 3-3. Give it thingy. Liverpool are going to beat Fulham, 2-0. Let's recalculate on that one there. So that's fine. We do have another match. Let's actually take that score out and recalculate because that one's not till the 80s. So let's calculate there. There you go. We'll come back to that one. We've now got to go to match week 35. So here we are. Match week 35. This is how the table is looking at the moment. And let's go start. Bournemouth against Chelsea. Oh, I think Bournemouth may get a point. Tottenham against Palace. I think that's a 3-0 win. 2 thinking. Wolves against Villa. I always fancy us against Villa, but, at home. But I'm going to try not to put my gold-tinted glasses on, and Wolves are going to fall foul. So I'm just going to go with a 0-1. The Wolves fans are going to be in meltdown at this point, losing to Villa, but don't have a go at me. It's just typical Wolves, but I do think we'll probably end up winning. But I've got to be realistic. Got to try and keep them gold-tinted glasses off. So I'm going to go with the Villa. Liverpool against Brentford again. I think it'd be a 1-0 there. City against Leeds, 2. I'll give Leeds a bit of fight there, 2-1. Newcastle versus Arsenal. I think this is a tricky one for Arsenal. And I'm going to go with, I think they'll get a point, but I think Newcastle are a very good side. So that's 2-2. West Ham versus United. I think this is a potential trip up. So I'm going to go 0-1 United. Fulham versus Leicester. I think Leicester is the sort of game they might go and sneak 2-1. Brighton against Everton. Oh, let's give Everton a point. Forest Southampton, this is a must win for Forest. I think at home they're so good. I think they'll probably end up winning this 3-0. Let's do that calculator and let's see with 4 matches to go what that does to the table. It actually puts 4 games to go. Manchester City have now gone top. Arsenal has slipped. United and in Pole definitely going to make Champions League, and then Liverpool are now into the Champions League places. Tottenham and 1 point between Liverpool, Tottenham, and Newcastle, and then at the bottom, Leeds are just out of it. AFC, Bournemouth, Everton, Forest, Palace, Leicester, West Ham, and Wolves. Still, any one of those can get relegated. Let's go on to the next match day. Match day 36. Villa versus Tottenham, it's a 2-2 draw. Palace versus Bournemouth, it's a 2-1 win. Arsenal versus Brighton, absolutely must win. They're going to do it, 2-1. Brentford versus West Ham United. Brentford, I think this is a local derby. I think this is 2-2 all over it. Chelsea are going to beat Forest 2-0. Everton against Manchester City. It's a massive game for them. I can't see them winning it, but I think it's going to be a 2-2. Southampton against Fulham. I think, sadly for Southampton, I think this is a game they lose 2-1. Leeds are going to fight and get a point against Newcastle. Leicester against Liverpool. I just can't see them beating Liverpool at this stage of the season. The momentum's there. Manchester United against Wolves. I fancy Wolves, but again, I think it's going to be probably going to be 2-0. So let's calculate and see what that does to the table. And that, City are now top on goal difference. Crikey, it's getting close. Liverpool starting to consolidate fourth. Everton, looking in real trouble at this point. Forest, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves. Do you know what? It's close. We do have another game to play. When is that played that week, or is it the week of the 18th? So we do need to go back to match day. Where are we? One match day. Oh no, who's short? We're short of one match day. Where's that gone? No, everyone's played apart from Liverpool. Is that right? Match day 28. Can we get back to 28? Oh yeah, there we go. Match day 28. Liverpool are going to beat Fulham 2-0. Calculate, and that really does put Liverpool in a good position for the Champions League places going into the final two games. And the final two games are Bournemouth against Manchester United. They are going to give everything. Last home match of the season. Let's give Bournemouth something from that game. A 1-1, a battling 1-1 draw. Brighton against Southampton. Again, Southampton are going to be battling. It's going to be a 2-2. Fulham versus Palace. Palace are virtually safe at this point, so I think it'll be a win to Fulham. Liverpool versus Villa. Again, I think they might slip up here. I think this could be a slip up for Liverpool. Villa, nothing can totally relax, and let's go for a 2-1 win. Manchester City, Chelsea, absolutely massive game, but they're going to drop points to Chelsea. It's going to be 2-2. Newcastle versus Leicester City. Newcastle have to win. Leicester desperately need to win, but it's going to be a 3-1 to Newcastle. Forest against Arsenal, a massive game. A massive, massive game. And I think it's just going to be Arsenal desperate are going to be too much. And I think they'll get the win 3-1. Tottenham will beat Brentford 2-0. West Ham versus Leeds, massive game. Again, just looking at the table, Leeds will probably get something out of this game. I think it might be high scoring, 2-2. And then we come on to Wolves against Everton. This is a game Wolves have to win. Everton have to win. It's the last home game at Molineux. Might even be the last game at Molineux for Ruben Neves. Neves winner. Wolves win that game 2-1. Let's calculate the table with one game to go. Arsenal have retaken the lead. They've retaken the lead on City. And it's really anyone's going into the last game. Well, Tottenham or Liverpool probably are going to get Champions League. Newcastle on goal difference. In fact, looks like Liverpool have got it on goal difference, to be fair. But who will get the fifth place? Villa having a great season. Fulham doing well. Brentford have started to drop off a little bit. Wolves are 12th with 39 points, which is fantastic because I said 38. So I'm trying to be rose gold tinted without. West Ham look thingy. So going into the last match of the season, it looks as if Everton, barring a massive swinger, and Southampton are down. Bournemouth, would you believe, are still in with a shout. Forest, Leicester, and Leeds. Let's do the last set of games. 32. Villa against Brighton, a nice 1-1 draw to finish the season. Palace against Forest. I think this is going to be drama, actually. I can see this being 3-3. Arsenal against Wolves. Well, I'm going to come back to that because that's my team, and Arsenal going for the title. So Manchester United, Fulham, a coaster for United. Leicester City, West Ham. Leicester need to win. They do. 2-1. Leeds versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham desperately thingy, but Leeds have got more to play for. I think it'll be a 1-1. Southampton against Liverpool. Southampton down at this point. I think they'll be done. They'll get a goal. Liverpool win 3-1. Everton, we'll come back to that in a minute. Chelsea versus Newcastle. I think Newcastle finished the season with a 3-2 win at Chelsea. Brentford, and let's go on to Everton versus AFC Bournemouth. I think Everton win that game 3-0. And then let's go on to Manchester City against Brentford. Manchester City have to win. Brentford mid-table. They don't get a goal. Manchester City comfortably in the end win 2-0. That comes to Wolves versus Arsenal. Arsenal need to win. Wolves probably are safe at this point. Arsenal may win, but I've got a sneaky feeling it's going to end up 1-1. Let's see what that does to the overall table. It means on the last day of the season, Manchester City pip Arsenal on goal difference to win with 88 points. Thanks to that last-minute equaliser at Arsenal at the Emirates, and that deny Arsenal the title. Sorry, Arsenal fans. Manchester City comfortably in the Champions League places. Liverpool managed to make it yet again into Champions League. A fantastic season for Newcastle. 66 points, fifth, just pipping Tottenham. Villa, a great season for them. You'd say the same for Fulham. Chelsea, not so good. Brighton dropping off in the end, and Brentford. Wolves finish on 40 points, which I'll be absolutely over the moon with if we get 40 points and 12th. I tried not to have my gold-tinted glasses on. You might disagree with that. I'll be happy if we got to 38 points. I'll be happy anywhere above the bottom three. Palace recover under Roy Hodgson to finish 13th. West Ham get out of trouble. Leicester just about get out of trouble. Leeds and Forest both managed to just stay in the division. And it's Everton, Bournemouth and Southampton that fall into the Championship. Sorry, Everton fans. Forest and Leeds fans, I'm sure you're happy if that is how it is. So that's how we end up with the table. That's how I've seen it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's just for a bit of fun. And as a Wolves fan, I'll be over the moon if that turns out. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what your relegation 3 is. Do you agree with the European places? Even in the comments, even drop your table if you want. I want to hear it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this and you had a bit of fun with it, please smash a like. And if you're brand new and you like this sort of stuff as well, and you found it quite interesting, subscribe, and who knows, we might do some more bits and pieces like this in the future for you as well. Until then, I'm Dazzling Dave. Come on and just keep the faith, whatever team you support. Until the next one, take care.